Hello and welcome. Welcome to my presentation today. I'm curious to know, have you noticed how many people are leaving this world? Whether they are dying suddenly and unusually, or their lives are just ending. And then there's the increasing number of suicides. So many people are suffering with loss and pain and heartache and grief around the world. And that's exactly why flow transformational grief coaches are needed now more than any other time in history. Hi, my name is Denise Deelwaard and I'm a widow. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you a powerful pathway that you can use that rapidly moves people forward through their grief, transforms their lives, helps them find peace again, and rediscover who they are without their loved one. I'm going to show you a revolutionary professional approach that is helping others live again with joy and purpose, instead of just surviving day to day. Not only that, I'm also going to show you how you can certify as a professional flow transformational grief coach without wasting any more time or money, by offering support and just listening and talking to others about their loss and their pain over and over and over again, which, as you know, keeps them stuck in their grief, keeps them stuck in that roller coaster of up and down, up and down, up and down. In fact, I'll show you how, by gaining a professional flow transformational grief coach certification, you will equip yourself with all the necessary tools and strategies so that you can help anyone struggling with grief embrace a new future of joy and purpose, without them having to wait for time or even navigate those 5 stages of grief. Now, how do I know this? I have been helping people release their grief, find joy, and reclaim their lives for over a decade, using my unique flow method. Many of us have been taught that there are 5 stages to grief and that we must go through all 5 stages and that time heals all. Unfortunately, this keeps most grievers stuck in their grief, keeps them stuck in their sad story, unable to move forward into their new life of joy. And here's the thing, we also have a fear of death. We're afraid to grieve, and we're afraid of what grief might do to us. However, the most important thing we can do to help people in grief is to help them feel their grief so that they don't hinder its progress and remain stuck there. So what is a transformational flow grief coach? Transformation is not about fixing grief or moving past it. It's about honoring the grief journey and recognizing the profound changes that grief brings to a person's life. Through guidance and support, flow transformational grief coaches help grievers not just survive their loss, but grow, evolve, and transform in its wake. This is exactly what our Flow Transformational Grief Coach certification offers. Now, you're probably wondering, who am I? Who am I to make these claims? Well, I'm not just a grief specialist and transformational grief coach, but I'm also someone who has lived through the sudden loss of my husband in 2009. And guess what? I waited for time. I tried navigating the 5 stages of grief. I saw a psychologist for months and months and months without feeling any better. And after struggling on my own and trying all sorts of things, I read books, I did everything that I was being told to do, I realized that unless I grow and transform myself, my grief is not going to heal. My life is not going to get any better. So I began my inner journey of self-discovery. I studied life coaching, human behavior, psychology, and many techniques, including NLP, on how to coach not only myself, but others through grief, and to do it quickly. I also realized that life coaching and grief coaching are two very different modalities. You see, in life coaching, people are aware that something in their life is just not working and they want to improve it. And they then reach out to a life coach and say, please help me with my life. I want to achieve my goals. I'm just not achieving them. However, grief coaching is so different because people want to heal their grief. That's all they want. They may have tried many other things. They've read books, they've gone to counseling, they've joined many grief groups, they've been to therapy, they've talking to friends, but nothing is working in their life. And they just don't know why or how. In our Flow Grief Coaching certification, you will learn the art of coaching grievers forward in their lives by guiding them to rediscover who they are without their loved one and how to truly love themselves from the inside out. That is the key, and that is the difference to grief coaching. And here's the good news. Grief coaches are not bound by any specific licensing guidelines. They have more freedom to use various tools, techniques, and approaches tailored specifically to an individual's grief needs, which means that without the need for formal licensing, which often varies by country or state, grief coaches can work with clients from anywhere in the world as long as they have an internet connection, which is true freedom, because grief is universal throughout the world. I am the founder of my unique flow method and the Academy of Transformational Grief Coaching, and I've spent many years refining the certification to ensure that it's comprehensive, practical, and effective. Plus, I developed my unique tried and tested flow method. I did this out of my own journey, my own grief journey, which has already helped hundreds of people worldwide move forward through their grief and pain. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from Deb. When tragedy struck Deb's life with the sudden and unexpected loss of her teenage daughter Naomi, Deb's response was one of unimaginable strength and compassion. Deb could have given into her despair, but instead she chose to find meaning and purpose in Naomi's death. And while grappling with her own grief and supporting her husband and her 4 other teenage children through this amazingly difficult time, somehow Deb also found the courage to reach out to others. Realizing that waiting for time to heal just wasn't an option for her, she turned her pain into a powerful tool to help others navigate the loss of a loved one. So driven by her desire to make a tangible difference in the world, she joined us as a certified Flow Transformational Grief Coach and now dedicates her life to coaching parents through the loss of a child. And because she experienced the pain and heartache of losing Naomi, she has an incredible empathy that guides parents through their grief, helping them find hope, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose. And then there's Pam. Pam endured 5 long years on a grief roller coaster following the loss of her husband. And despite numerous counseling sessions and repeating grief share 5 times, she knew that there had to be more to life. There had to be more to life for both herself and others in her situation. So driven by her experience and desire to help others, Pam joined the Academy of Transformational Grief Coaching. And with the Flow method and the coaching tools, plus the expertise that she gained, she confidently coaches widows through their grief, offering them not only just a way to cope, but a pathway forward to finding themselves again. Her commitment to ensuring that others don't endure the grief roller coaster as long as she did is both inspiring and uplifting. I'm sure you will agree the world is changing rapidly. 4 years ago, we lived in a very different world to where we're living today. Our world was predictable. We knew exactly what tomorrow would bring. But it's a very different world today, isn't it? My mission and my passion is to help create rapid grief healing around the grieving world. And for that, the world needs professionally qualified grief coaches who have a compassion and a mission. Are you going to be one of them? In our 12-week Flow Method certification, you will learn to help others and yourself release the past, reimagine the future, rediscover who they are, learn to love themselves on an inner core level, reclaim happiness in the present moment. And you'll also help them how to design a meaningful and rewarding life of joy and purpose. You will also help grievers shift their hidden limiting beliefs fast by creating the awareness around their lifelong programming and the learned strategies that's keeping them stuck in their grief, which when released installs new beliefs and new strategies. Plus, you will also learn the foundation of grief coaching and the advanced skills. We teach grief coaching processes that create breakthroughs quickly. You see, mind shift can happen in a moment, in a flash. A new idea just can occur in a flash. Get it now. Speed is one of the things that sets this grief training apart. Every grief coach needs this skill to be able to move people who are grieving and stuck in their grief to joy fast. You see, grief is a natural response to loss. But what is not natural is to remain in grief for years and years and years. How many people do you know that die when their loved one dies? And then they end up wasting their lives away, waiting for time to heal. At the Academy, you will learn so many grief coaching processes and strategies to help your clients within weeks. Yes, weeks instead of years. You see, I understand that every moment living with grief is a struggle. It is a real struggle. And that struggle affects both mental and physical health. And that life is too precious to waste. It really is. So after completing your 12-week certification, you will have the understanding and a proven method to help people in their lowest point, unable to see their future. You'll be able to compassionately and expertly assist them to reclaim their joy and their purpose and give them the ability to step into their new life. At the very heart of my flow method is the knowledge that time alone does not heal. Studies show that people suffer 5 to 8 years on average when they just wait and wait and wait for time. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's too long. People recover much faster with the right method and the right grief coaching support. Our philosophy at the Academy of Transformational Grief Coaching is that suffering can be turned into compassion, wisdom, and service. But this is not for everyone. There are 2 very important things that you need to have Number one is that you want a new approach to transforming people's lives after loss. You're determined and committed to creating a new life while helping others. And you're willing to take the necessary steps by doing what it takes to step into your future. You are looking for a proven grief coach method. Number two, to truly transform the lives of those dealing with grief, you must really be willing to embrace a new way of thinking. Thinking about your passion, thinking about your future, what's possible for you and others. You must also be aware that it calls for an in-depth understanding of human behavior, the psychology of grief, and a commitment to learning what keeps people trapped in their pain. You must also be prepared to become a qualified grief coach, equipped with the necessary skills, knowledge, and certification that goes way beyond the conventional 5 stages of grief and waiting for time. This is a profound journey that demands work, dedication, and a true desire to help others. This is a calling. It's a calling not for the faint-hearted, but for those committed to making life-altering differences in a world that is currently filled with grief, loss, pain, and heartache. Unfortunately, most people don't know where to start helping others. And I'm sure you will agree, professionally certified grief coaches are needed now more than any other time in history. So if you're committed to helping others transition from grief to joy, and you want to create an income along the way, then now's the time to take the next step. Book your free discovery call today, and I'll be with you every step of the way. Click the link and the button below to schedule your free discovery session. Hey, there's nothing to lose. This could be the absolute beginning of something truly meaningful in a world that needs your compassion and your expertise. And by the way, if you want to know how and why this works so well, the secret is my flow method. Feel, let go, overcome, and become whole. The conventional wisdom that everyone is teaching is that time heals all. Wait for time, and that grievers must go through the 5 stages of grief, and so much other stuff. Or just get a dog. Or wait for the first year before you do anything. Do not do anything within the first year. And you know they're teaching grievers to have all of these things in place before moving forward. And that really makes me so mad. Because, first of all, people cannot wait for years and years and years and years to move forward with their lives. They cannot put their lives on hold. Why? Because their health suffers. Their relationships with friends and family all suffer. And in the meantime, their life is passing them by. And they're just kind of hoping that maybe tomorrow will be a better day, and that by some sort of miracle, all their pain will be gone in the morning. Unfortunately, this is magical thinking. Now, that's not what I want for you. And I know that that is not what you want for others either. The good news is that all of this is just nonsense. It's a myth. And the truth is that just by learning how to professionally coach people through their pain, by rediscovering who they are without their loved one, and to do this as an empowered person, they will rapidly release their pain and heartache so that they can live their best life. Live their best life on their terms. How do I know? Because I have done it. And so have hundreds of people I have helped. Some are coaching parents that have lost a child, some widows, some widowers, some have lost parents, all while creating a lifestyle business and coaching practice, working from anywhere in the world. This has worked for them, and this will work for you. Remember that grief coaches are not bound by specific licensing guidelines and have more freedom to use tools and techniques and approaches tailored specifically to an individual's grief needs, which means that without the need for formal licensing, which often varies by country or state, you as a flow transformational grief coach can work from anywhere in the world, can help grievers all around the world, as long as you have an internet connection. Hey, I'm based in Australia and I work around the world. So schedule your free discovery session now and let us lay out a path so that you can qualify as a certified flow transformational grief coach. Again, this is a free call. I call you. There's zero risk. So what have you got to lose? So act fast and get your hands on my unique transformational grief coach certification now. I'm Denise Deelwoud, and I'm looking so forward to talking to you soon.